Welcome to YaArah's Yard podcast, created by me, Emily Cindy Wood. I'm a survivor of cancer, encephalitis, coma, multiple seizures, and domestic violence. Some of the topics that this podcast covers include encephalitis, disability, cancer, veterans, and Vermont. This is my hair 16 months after my first round of chemotherapy ended. I had chemotherapy from December 2018 until May 2019, and this is my hair after that. I've only had one hair trim, and my diagnosis was stage 3 invasive breast cancer, and the kind of cancer that I have feeds off from estrogen. I was taking tamoxifen. My ovaries were removed to reduce the estrogen. I had not gone through menopause yet. And recently, I was found to have cancer again. And the tamoxifen was changed to another medication. My initial diagnosis was September-October 2018. In October 2018, I had my first mastectomy on the left side. Then chemotherapy was from December to May. Following that, in 2019, I had radiation treatment for a couple months. Then, waiting for that to kind of heal a bit and for me to get a little stronger. Then the ovaries were removed in November 2019, and I was supposed to, but at that point I was considered to be in remission, and because I carry the BRCA2, the BRCA2 cancer gene, then I'm at a high risk for getting cancer in the other side of my chest. So this past July, in the year 2020, I just got my second mastectomy on the right side, and something called a deep flap chest reconstruction. I'm still healing from that, still recovering. I've been told it will take over a year for me to fully recover. But during the first mastectomy on this side, the entire breast was full of cancer, and there were cancerous lymph nodes found. And, if the cancer doesn't go into the lymph nodes, then you don't have to have the chemotherapy. So this last surgery that I had on the right side, the cancer was not found in the right breast, but cancer was found in my lymph nodes. 9 out of 20 removed lymph nodes were cancerous. So there are a few complications in the initial plan, because I was to heal from that surgery. I've got numerous incisions. And then chemotherapy was going to start. Chemotherapy cannot be started until all of the incisions are fully healed. And I have openings that happened in the abdominal incision from the deep flap surgery. So I'm just waiting for those to close up. But visiting nurses have to come to my apartment here, and they pack or fill the openings in the abdominal incision with material that is special, and it's antibacterial and so on. And then they put a bandage over it. Then they measure it and all that. But I cannot begin physical therapy until after the holes are healed up, because if I start physical therapy, then my insurance is going to cover the outpatient physical therapy, and the visiting nurses will have to close my case. And I discussed with the physical therapist, from the original physical therapist, exactly what should I be worrying about trying to do right now. And as far as she was concerned, all I need to do is just try to make sure I have mobility in my arms. So the left side is extremely great as far as the range of motion. I'm still at the point where I'm not supposed to be raising my arm above my shoulders, although I can actually do that with my left arm. The right arm, this is as high as I can pick it up. And this is as high as it goes without help. That way, I can't really do certain other things with it. But this is fantastic compared to the after effects and the range of motion that I had after the mastectomy. And this side is doing great. So there was another thing that arose. So like I was just saying, the abdominal incision holes or openings, they have to close up and be healed over before the visiting nurses will stop coming, before chemotherapy can start, and before I can start physical therapy, because I have to be careful and not be doing something to irritate or worsen that condition. So I was told by my oncologist that I would go back to see him in 3 weeks. When I go back, they'll check the abdominal incision again. Strangely, the sun is going behind the cloud or something, and then out again, so it's getting dark and light and dark and light. So the other thing that arose, which changed the plan again for the second time, was I went to the radiation treatment specialist, and he did an exam of the surgical area. Originally, when they found the cancer in the lymph nodes with this last surgery, they were going to be doing, once I healed enough from the surgery, start chemotherapy, then do radiation treatment. And they said possible change from the tamoxifen to another medication. They already changed the tamoxifen. I think the new medication is called Arimidex. And so the new thing is, and I'm having a hard time just plain getting to the point and saying things concisely, But the new thing that happened was the radiation treatment doctor, he discovered a hard lump. Basically, this is where my chemo port is, in this area right here. And a little ways to the, well, my right and your left, possibly, there is a hard mass right here. So the chemo port is here. There's a hard mass that they discovered here. And now Friday next week, which is October 9th, Friday next week, there's going to be an ultrasound, and they want to determine whether it's scar tissue or whether it's a tumor. And this is really getting just downright frustrating, because when I was originally diagnosed with the cancer, I was in the middle of a semester, registered for one class online, and this class was the science with a lab. It was called Anatomy and Physiology, and it was the one last course for me to complete successfully before I would obtain a bachelor's degree from Northern Vermont University here in the United States. Because I wasn't able to sit up to the laptop and type, I also wasn't able to deal with the textbook, the physical textbook, because it was too heavy, and I couldn't deal with that either. I ended up having to medically withdraw from the class. The week after the first mastectomy on this side in 2018 was the week of midterm exams, and it was going to be impossible. The quizzes were timed, and I was going to be given, extra days in order to complete it, but it just was not enough. I needed more lenience in order to complete it because of the physical limitations I had at that point. And I was also very drugged with a lot of pain medication. And I'm extremely surprised, which I already mentioned, this side is doing so much better than this side did after the mastectomy. But that's probably because I still have a chest there, even though it's a new chest. The BRCA2 cancer gene, I've been tested for it. I'm positive for it. My older sister does not have the gene. My younger sister, I still have to clarify this, but if I'm understanding correctly, she doesn't have it either. And some of the time, I'm not angry with them, obviously, because they don't have it, but it's, why me? Why do I have to get it? And the fact that my older sister doesn't have the gene, I think that's good news for my children, her children, because there are other people in the family who maybe don't have the gene. Originally, we heard about the gene from a cousin of mine, and she contacted everyone in the family and said, I just tested positive for this cancer gene, you need to go get tested. And I wasn't able to get tested until after I was actually found with cancer. And that was after lumps were found. And by that time, this entire side was full of cancer. This time, with the July surgery to do the second mastectomy, there was no cancer at all in the right side, in the breast. it was only found in lymph nodes. And I believe I already said 9 out of 20 removed lymph nodes were found with cancer. So that's almost half. The lymphatic system, for a lot of people that haven't had cancer, or you know someone with cancer and don't know much about it, basically once it gets into your lymphatic system, that means that the cancer can travel any place. So that's not a good thought to have, but you know, you can't dwell on it because, I mean, what would you do if you thought about that all the time? You wouldn't get anything done. You wouldn't, you know, why wake up? Because it's going to kill you anyways. So that, like, that's kind of one thing going on right now. And another thing is, well, how do I make plans? I need to return to complete a Science with a Lab course at the same college where I had to medically withdraw from that one class, and I can't go back and successfully complete the course until I know that I'm going to be able to complete, you know, finish the course and not have something medically coming up where I have to medically withdraw again. I don't want to start and then end up in chemotherapy or end up with something else. And it looks like I've got somebody at my door. And I'll talk to you later. Thank you for joining me at YaArah's Yard podcast. Hopefully, you'll join us again soon. Till then, have a great day.